Thank you for that warm intro. All right, let me get started here. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. I'm truly excited to be here with you to explore cloud-based disaster recovery and really getting into the latest technologies and strategies. Now, this is an area where I've spent more than 20 years helping organizations strengthening their resilience and recovering smarter from disruptions. Let me start off with a bit of background. I earned my BS in Information Sciences from Morgan State University and later completed a master's certificate from Villanova University. As an experience that helped me deepen my approach to an enterprise level risk and also into response. But classroom knowledge only takes you so far. So I've been in the trenches from threat response, business continuity planning, regulatory compliance across industries like pharma, insurance, consulting, and MSSPs. And if I had to highlight something, is leading a Fortune 100 company through a breach recovery process where I was able to help restore operations in under 72 hours. Staying sharp in this field is a non-negotiable. That's why I've earned several credentials along the way. So thanks again for having me today. Let's jump right into today's discussion. First, let me walk you through what we'll be covering in our session on cloud-based disaster recovery on the latest technologies and strategies. First, we'll begin by exploring how organizations are enabling a robust disaster recovery through the cloud. Then we'll be diving into the key advantages of cloud-based disaster recovery, not just in theory, but also in a real-world impact environment. After that, we'll be examining the critical considerations for building a resilient cloud DR strategy. And then we'll go hands-on with best practices for automating and testing your DR plans, because a plan that isn't tested doesn't work. We also cover the cost-effective approaches to implementing a DR strategy, because we understand that resilience should not just come with a cost, but it should also have a meaning. I'll then walk you through a curated list of the top 12 cloud-based DR solutions currently shaping the industry. And then from there, we'll move more into a how-to side, right? Developing a resilient strategy and how automation works into this whole ecosystem. And then we'll be drawing insights from real-world deployments, some that have succeeded and some that were taught hard lessons. And then finally, we'll close with a case study from the field, giving you a tactical takeaway that you can apply into your own environment. So now that we've gone through the agenda, let's step into the real meat of today's discussion, which is how to actually build a resilient cloud-based disaster recovery plan. And so what you're seeing here in this first slide is a 7-step framework that brings structure and strategy to what can otherwise feel overwhelming. So I'm going to walk you through each step briefly so that you can see how they connect and build on each other. Step 1 is understanding your infrastructure and outlining the risks, right? So we start by mapping out your environment, identifying where the vulnerabilities are. You can't protect what you don't fully understand, right? Step 2 is conducting a business impact analysis, BIA. And this is where we assess what's mission critical and what the downtime really costs. Now, this will help to prioritize what needs protection the most. This is where we assess what the mission critical items are and what the downtime really costs. This will help prioritize what needs protection the most. Step 3 is creating a DR plan based on your RPO and your RTO. These two metrics, recovery point and recovery time objectives, are the backbone of your plan, right? So both of these metrics define how fast and how far back you need to recover. Step 4 is the approach. How do we approach the right cloud partner? And so not all solutions are created equal. Choosing a partner that aligns with your business needs, your compliance requirements, and your recovery goals is essential. Step 5 is how do we document your DR plan? This is where everything comes together, the roles, the processes, the escalation paths, everything should be written down clear and accessible. Step 6 is how do we test our DR plan, right? If you don't test it, it doesn't work. Regular testing helps you find the gaps and build confidence in your process. And step 7 is just to basically reiterate and improve, right? So every test, every incident is a chance to get better. Resilience isn't static. It does evolve around your environment. Now, this framework gives you a solid foundation to what we'll be kind of discussing today. And whether you're starting from scratch or refining your existing plan, this is basically the backbone of today's discussion. All right. So now that we've covered the structure of a solid cloud disaster recovery plan, let's bring it to life by looking at how cloud actually enables a robust end-to-end recovery and when it actually matters the most. And so on the far left, we'll start with the cyber attack scenario. The moment everything changes, right? Now this could be ransomware, it could be a breach, it could be a destructive insider action. This is the kind of disruption we're preparing for. Where a strong cloud-based recovery strategy typically kicks in. Moving to the second panel, you see a cloud backup recovery. This is where cloud services like a disaster recovery as a service come into play. Your systems, your apps, and all the data are backed up off-site, ready to be restored rapidly and cost-effectively. Cloud gives you that flexibility and the ability to scale that traditional infrastructure that simply can't. The third is a visual about a disaster recovery planning process within a broader business continuity ecosystem. The cloud actually enables seamless collaboration between plans, like an incident response plan, support, and communication frameworks. So you're not just reacting, you're actually coordinating a smart, controlled recovery process. And then finally, we arrive at a scalable cloud solution. And this is where cloud infrastructure lets you recover and even grow during the crisis. Whether it's spinning up new instances, replicating environments, or adapting to an increased workload, cloud gives you the tools to bounce back stronger. And so as you can see, the cloud isn't just a backup location. It's essentially the engine behind fast, flexible, and effective disaster recovery option. So we've seen the mechanics. Now let's talk about impact. What are the actual advantages of moving disaster recovery to the cloud? And so first up is reduced infrastructure, right? So by shifting your disaster recovery strategy to the cloud, you're actually eliminating the need for heavy on-prem hardware. What does that mean? That means fewer physical systems to manage and fewer costs to absorb. Building on that is the scalability, which is another huge win. Cloud-based DR grows within your organization. As data expands or your computation needs increase, the cloud adapts without skipping a beat. Next is improved disaster recovery itself. And so we're talking about faster recovery times, better redundancy, and greater reliability, all thanks to the automation and failover capabilities baked into the cloud platforms. From there, it naturally leads into easier management. Cloud services simplify day-to-day operations with centralized controls, automated testing, and real-time visibility, freeing up your team to focus on bigger priorities. And of course, we can't ignore the cost savings, right? By paying only for what you use, Cloud DR dramatically reduces both capital and long-term maintenance overhead. And finally, it's the enhanced accessibility that ties everything together. Cloud-based DR gives your team the ability to recover systems from virtually anywhere, whether you're in the office, at home, or halfway across the globe. Now, these advantages aren't just technical upgrades, they're also operational game changers for how we approach business continuity today. So let's shift from the why to the how. The core building blocks of resilient cloud disaster recovery. Now, these considerations are essential for ensuring your DR strategy doesn't just exist, but actually performs under pressure. It all starts with the data backup. If your data isn't securely backed up regularly and tested, nothing else matters. Cloud-based backup provides the redundancy and the availability needed to restore operations when things go wrong. But backup alone doesn't keep your business running. You also need application failover. Now, this ensures your most critical systems can automatically shift to a secondary cloud region so that the services stay up and customer impact stays down. And of course, seamless failover depends on reliability and your connections. which brings us to our network redundancy. Implementing multiple network paths and a secondary route helps avoid single points of failure and ensures users stay connected, even during an outage. And to tie it all together, there's cloud resource scaling. Disaster scenarios often bring unexpected spikes in demand. With the use of the cloud, you can scale resources up or down as needed, keeping performance high when pressure is at its peak. And so there aren't just IT best practices, there are also non-negotiables of cloud DR strategy built to endure. To take it further, let's focus on what makes disaster recovery plan truly effective. And this is going to be the operational habits and routines that ensure it will work when needed. These are the best practices for automating and testing your DR plan, helping you move from planning to execution with confidence. Start with automated backups. Scheduled automatic backups ensure that your most critical data and systems are continuously protected without relying on manual processes that are prone to error or oversight. Once your backups are in place, failover testing becomes essential. You need to verify that systems can switch over seamlessly in a live scenario. What does that mean? Regular testing confirms whether your DR environment is actually ready to perform under pressure. That testing should also align with documented incident response plan. So this plan should clearly spell out what to do in the event of any disruption, who's responsible for what, and which steps should be taken to contain, recover, and communicate. Equally important is offsite storage. Storing backup data systems in a geographically separated location adds a critical layer of resilience, especially in the event of natural disasters or regional outages. No DR strategy is complete without training your people. Your tools are only as good as the people using them. Ensuring your teams understand their roles in recovery increases speed, reduces mistakes, and strengthens organizational readiness. And finally, continuous monitoring and alerting ties it all together. Early detection and automated alerts help identify threats in real time, enabling teams to respond before a full-blown disaster unfolds. Together, these best practices ensure your recovery plan isn't just built, but battle-tested, automated, and ready for whatever comes next. Let's turn our attention to what it takes to implement cloud-based disaster recovery solutions in a cost-effective way, balancing performance, reliability, and budget. We begin with the cloud DR automation. By automating the provisioning of cloud resources, organizations can reduce manual overhead, speed up recovery time, and ensure consistency during activation. It's faster, smarter, and less error-prone. Next is a hybrid cloud integration. And this is where on-prem and cloud environments come together. Seamless integration ensures you can protect legacy systems while still leveraging the scalability and the usage of the cloud. Equally important is backup and replication. Efficient, continuous replication of critical workloads across environments ensures that recovery points are always recent, minimizing data loss in the event of disruption. And finally, there's failover and fallback, a streamlined process for shifting operations to a secondary location, and it's just importantly returning to your original environment once the system stabilizes. And this helps to reduce downtime and maintain your business continuity. Each of these pillars play a role in driving smarter, more sustainable disaster recovery without compromising performance or overspending. To give you a better sense of the landscape, let's briefly walk through each of these 12 cloud-based disaster recovery solutions, each offering a unique value proposition depending on your environments and needs. We'll start up in the upper left. This is the AWS Elastic Disaster Recovery. Now, this is Amazon's native solution that delivers fast, scalable DR for cloud workloads. This enables rapid failover and recovery directly within an AWS infrastructure. Next, we have Azure Site Recovery. This is Microsoft's platform, which offers seamless DR orchestration across hybrid and cloud native environments. Now, this is ideally for those already within a Azure ecosystem. And then we have Accessio. This is part of the Google Cloud that specializes in copy data management and enterprise scale of backing up and also integrating your DR. This is well suited for large data environments. We then have Veeam Recovery Orchestrator. Veeam excels in the automation and orchestration with strong integrations across cloud and virtual infrastructures. This is actually great for complex multi-site recovery needs. Then we have Zerto. Zerto is a Hewlett-Packard enterprise company. Zerto is known for their real-time replication and continuous availability with an emphasis on minimum downtime. We also have VMware Cloud Disaster Recovery. This is a strong option for virtualized environments. Now, this solution simplifies cloud DR for VM customers with deep platform integration and ransomware recovery. Then we have Druva. Druva offers a software as a service based platform for backup in DR with no hardware required, making it flexible, low maintenance option for mid-sized enterprises. We also have Cloud Endure. This is by AWS. This is an agent-based DR tool that focuses on real-time replication, fast recovery across both cloud and hybrid environments, especially doing lift and shift migrations. We have Acronis CyberAttacks Cloud. Acronis combines backup anti-malware into their DR single platform, delivering a cyber resilient recovery with added security layers. And then we have Carbonite by OpenText. This is a user-friendly solution aimed at small, medium businesses, offering file level recovery, backup automation, and it's cost effective. We also have SunGuard availability services. Now, SunGuard provides enterprise-grade DR solutions with managed services tailored for complex infrastructures and compliance-heavy sectors. And then last, we have Unitrends. Now, this platform delivers an all-in-one backup in DR with support for physical, virtual, and cloud environments. But together, all of these tools represent a broad spectrum, right? From cloud native to hybrid, to SMB to enterprise. Understanding their role that they play specifically will help align you to your operational and budgetary priorities of your organization. Let's build on the solution landscape by walking through the core practices that bring automation and testing to life within your DR strategy. Now, this slide outlines a four-part approach that helps teams move from a more manual process to a fully optimized and continuously tested recovery environment. So we start by automating disaster recovery processes. We automate by understanding the key workflows, which reduce the risk of human error and speeds up the execution process when time actually matters. It also ensures consistent responses across all teams and systems. From there, we move into a regular testing validation process. And this is where we typically will have a full-scale drill and a controlled failover environment or process to help verify that your plan works under pressure, highlighting the gaps you can fix before they cause real damage. The third step is leveraging cloud-native DR automation tools. Modern platforms simplify orchestration, provisioning, and testing, all in one place, making it easier to manage and scale your DR environment. And finally, focus on measuring and optimizing readiness. Use KPIs like RTOs and RPOs to track how well your recovery plan is performing. Then fine-tune, base all those insights, put them all together. It's all about evolving with your environment. When executed together, these steps help turn your DR strategy into a living, breathing system, always improving, always ready. To take your disaster recovery approach from a functional to truly resilient, each element of your strategy needs to be intentional and interconnected. This slide will really get into the core components of building a resilient cloud DR strategy, covering everything from architecture and automation to compliance. We start to understand or the process with a comprehensive disaster recovery plan, as mentioned before. This is going to be the blueprint that outlines how your organization will maintain operations during a disruption. It should include clear roles, escalation paths, and service priorities. Then look at the hybrid cloud infrastructure, blending on-premise systems. Public or private cloud enables a greater flexibility and resilience, especially for globally distributed teams or legacy systems. Automation plays a huge role in backup and restoration. Automated tools help ensure that recovery can happen quickly without relying on manual steps that often delay restoration during high pressure situations. Failover and load balancing comes next. These systems ensure continuity by redirecting workloads when infrastructure is impacted, keeping your services live even when components fail. No strategy is complete without simulation and testing. Running regular DR drills validates whether your plan actually works and gives teams the confidence they need to execute under pressure. And finally, align everything with regulatory compliance. From GDPR to HIPAA, your DR strategy must meet industry-specific legal and security requirements to avoid risks beyond downtime. So bringing these elements together helps ensure that your disaster recovery plan isn't just designed to survive disruption, but it's also to maintain business operations and everything throughout it. To wrap up here, let's have a look at the foundational best practices that define a truly resilient cloud-based disaster recovery strategy. Now, these are the principles that tie everything together that we've been discussing: strategy, execution, and long-term readiness. We typically start with the integrated disaster recovery and business continuity planning. We always want to ensure that, we understand that we need to restore, but it's all about keeping the entire business operational during and after a disruption. We also want to design every layer with resiliency in mind. Build for failure. That means accounting for redundancy, distributed systems, and graceful degradation across your architecture. We also want to monitor. I can't stress that enough. We want to, especially in the cloud, visibility is key. Real-time monitoring helps detect anomalies early and ensures your recovery strategy is always ready to activate. We also want to form a defense, right? Cyber threats, misconfigurations, and insider risks require layer protection. This is a proactive security posture that strengthens your ability to recover cleanly. And finally, test regularly. Even the best designs fall apart without tests. Simulations, partial failovers, and routine validations make sure your recovery plan performs under pressure. And as the text on the right emphasizes, cloud-based DR is more than just a modern convenience. It is a strategic advantage when approached with the right mindset, the right tools, and the right practices. This is where the strategy meets execution. Real-world examples of organizations that successfully put cloud disaster recovery into action. A strong disaster recovery strategy is where it all begins. These case studies started out with clearly defined plans, mapping out risks, outlining roles, and aligning DR goals with their business objectives. From there, we see cloud infrastructure deployed at scale. Whether through hybrid models or full cloud migrations, these businesses choose infrastructure that were agile, secure, and built to support rapid recovery. Automated backup and restoration made recovery measurable. They implemented solutions that not only ran on schedule, but also ensured near zero data loss when incidents occurred. Failover and fallback procedures were tested and proven. In these examples, systems switched over to alternate environments automatically and smoothly returned to their primary locations once restored. Real-time monitoring and alerts added another layer of confidence. Each detection, combined with intelligent alerting, meant recovery teams could act quickly, often before users even noticed any issue. And across the board, the results were scalable and cost-effective. Now, these aren't just high-budget enterprises. These are small and mid-sized organizations who achieve success by tailoring cloud DR solutions to their size, risk, and each resource availability. Each of these examples proves that with the right strategy and execution, Cloud DR isn't just a safety net, it's a competitive advantage. Let's take a closer look at how industry leaders are applying cloud-based disaster recovery strategies at scale in real environments under real pressure. Netflix offers a great example of hybrid cloud resilience. They use AWS infrastructure to create a disaster recovery model that could withstand major disruptions. When outages occur, their hybrid design enables rapid failover while continuing to serve global users. Spotify took automation to the next level. Their cloud-based failover system is designed to switch traffic to a backup data center instantly without any interruption. This level of automation minimizes downtime and helps ensure a seamless user experience. Now, Airbnb focused on a geographic resilience. They develop a multi-region DR architecture that allows their services to remain live even if one region goes completely offline. This is especially critical for platforms with global user bases that are time sensitive and use time sensitive transactions. And Dropbox embraced a cloud native approach. Now, their solution eliminates the need for manual recovery altogether. By building in replication and automating scaling, they're able to recover quickly and scale up during spikes or outages without any human intervention. Each of these companies show that with the right strategy, whether hybrid, automated, multi-region, or fully cloud native, resilience isn't just possible, it's certainly scalable. So to align disaster recovery with global best practices, organizations must also understand the core standards that define how resilience is measured and maintained. These frameworks serve as the backbone for compliant, auditable, and effective DR plan. Let's walk through them briefly so we all understand what they are and how we can certainly use them. The first is ISO IEC 27031. Now, this standard focuses specifically on the information and communication technology, which is a readiness standard for business continuity. Now, this standard ensures that your systems, not just the data, are built to recover effectively. Then we move on to a more broader standard, which is the ISO 22301. This broadens the scope with requirements for business continuity management systems across any industry. It is a foundational for building enterprise-wide resilience. We then move over to NIST 834, revision 1. This is a go-to guide for several federal IT contingency planning, not only in the US, but we do see several organizations all over the world kind of adhere to it. Now, this is a risk-based approach, which is widely adopted by contractors and private organizations as well. We also have the NFPA 1600, which takes a holistic view covering the continuity, emergency, and crisis management across both the public and private sectors. It's widely respected in the emergency operations planning. We have COVID 2019, which brings governance into focus. It is essential for IT leaders managing enterprise risk, controls, and recovery across complex infrastructures. And then we have ITIL version 4, which also helps to standardize the recovery processes through its service continuity management practices, ensuring IT services bounce back efficiently. And so together, these standards just don't tick a compliance box. They provide a blueprint for building DR programs that are consistent, secure, and trusted across industries. And so that brings us to the end of today's session on cloud-based disaster recovery strategies and best practices. I truly appreciate you guys taking the time to explore this topic with me. Whether you're building a DR program from the ground up or refining what you already have in place, I hope the insights that I've shared today help you move forward with clarity and confidence. Keep in mind, disaster recovery isn't just about the tools or policies. It's about protecting people, processes, and the continuity of the organizations that we serve. So let's open the floor for questions. Feel free to jump in with anything that you'd like to dive a little bit deeper. If it's too deep, certainly reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I'm happy to elaborate.